Hey, in this video I am going to go through the Resident Evil 3 Remake Speedrun. This will be done on standard difficulty, which is the main category, and it will be played on PC at 120 FPS, which is recommended for this game. I've made two videos for this tutorial, one which goes through the setup and basic techniques. I'll leave a link for that in the description below, and that'll teach you the things that you need to know before speedrunning this game. Okay, so the apartment is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is take straight lines. And around this, you're holding left as you turn around. I won't go through all the keyboard inputs because obviously you can go through the video and you can see what direction I'm holding in which scene, but pay attention. For example, in different scenes I'll need to hold different directions. Now there, when Jill picks up the phone, you need to wait until she says hello, otherwise she will fall over in this cutscene here when she's running down the hallway, so you want to wait until she says hello there. And now we're coming to the window, and this is a quick turn, and then we're doing stair skates. And this is a special kind of stair skating that is done when Jill is in danger. Even though she is not in danger, the game overrides that into danger. So what you need to do is practice pressing forward repeatedly to get good at doing those stair skates. So that's what you do, you tap forward. And you come out here. Okay, so wait until Brad starts nodding here. This is similar to the phone where you need to wait a little bit, otherwise Jill will fall over. And all you're doing here is walking towards this corner here, following Brad. And you can see the key inputs is up and left. Just need to pay attention to what I'm pressing. Now here you're going to go to the hydrant. You want to run to the right side of it, and then you dodge into the sign. And what they'll do is cancel the stagger animation for Jill. And if you dodge twice there, that saves a little bit of time because that door is heavy. And when you dodge through it, it seems to improve your times there a little bit. Now here you're dodging 3 times. You don't need to hit the button, just the right side. You want to hold left and run all the way around those zombies, and that'll be safe. Now here you're mashing interaction keys 3 times in a row. So you want to make sure you're mashing pretty aggressively, and then you're mashing the left keys. And this is why it's good to have a secondary key for the left mouse click, so you can help mash in that one slot. Now here, when Nemesis is walking, you don't want to touch anything because that'll lose time. Lose like 2 seconds if you touch the mouse. Because what will happen is Jill will start struggling, and yeah, that'll stretch out that cutscene a little bit. Other thing you want to do there is switch the handgun to slot 4. So what that's going to do is open up the first position, and that's really important in this game. You want to have that first position available as much as possible for a key item. Since a handgun is not a key item, it's better to keep the weapons on slots that you don't really need. So that's why I drag it into the corner there. And you want to run into that door at an angle, and that'll stop Carlos from pushing you out. And then you take 3 dodges here. So pretty straightforward opening, and now it kind of heats up. Like everything from this point, this is where things get a little bit difficult. That spin saves time. It helps Jill get up the stairs faster. So you want to make sure you do that. And one thing to keep in mind is during this radio call, so the timer stops here. So you don't want to skip the call because that will start the in-game timer again. So essentially you've got free time save by walking as much as you possibly can. Now here you hug the left side so that zombie can't grab you. And you want to stay on the middle right side here. Wait until this zombie looks at you and then move to the left side and he will miss. And you dodge into this. Now here we're going to stay in fine by running past, and then you want to shoot that barrel. And you're going to come down here. This is a bit RNG where this... So let me just explain this quickly. There's one zombie here which is RNG. The rest are effectively in their place unless that zombie pushes them into a different position. Mainly what you want to do is shoot the generator here. That's going to be the best option most of the time, and probably the safest option most of the time. Sometimes you'll be able to run past as well. I don't recommend dodging because that raises the DA, and you actually want to keep the DA pretty low for the substation. Shooting the generator doesn't raise the DA, so that's why I prefer doing that. Now this line is a little bit riskier. You're baiting out the guy on the right, and you have to get the line right there, otherwise you'll get caught. So that only works if the other zombie is not blocking your way. That is a little bit risky. If you're not confident with that, you can just shoot the generator. And this is a pattern where you can run past on the left. So if the zombie is out of the way, you can run past on the left. Then you want to pick up these handgun bullets, and you're going to dodge into the door and shoot the barrel. And what that does is gets rid of zombies on the left side, because they can be a problem later on. If you find that uncomfortable though, you can run through the door and shoot it. You have to make sure you shoot the barrel pretty quickly though. Otherwise those zombies will walk away. You can't see them, but they'll walk away, and then there won't be much point of shooting that barrel because you won't hit them. Once you come in here, you want to shoot this zombie, so take your time. Make sure you check the SRT to see that he's actually dead and not falling down. And then you want to reload this before you pick up the hose. And you're going to come in here, pick up the grenade that goes into slot 3. And you're coming out here. Now, if he's in the way like that, you want to go ahead and stagger him. Takes 2 or 3 shots. Sometimes he can be standing like that, so just be careful with that. It's usually just, once you play the game for a while, you have a better sense of what the zombie's behavior is going to do. Be careful in that position because he can instantly wake up and aggro. And when you come out this door, there's going to be 3 zombies standing around, so you want to make sure you know where they are. For some reason, the lady zombie disappears. I don't know where she goes, so you don't have to worry about her. So if they're in the way, just shoot the generator. Sometimes you will be able to get past, but it is a little bit dicey. If you're not confident with that, go ahead and shoot the generator. Or sometimes you can bait them out like this. You can bait out the big guy, but again, it's pretty risky. If you're not feeling confident, shoot the generator. It's not that much of a big deal. And this guy, I had to do that again because usually he's on the stairs, so I wanted to show you what you do there. Obviously, you're just going to dodge, and you dodge twice to this hydrant. So you want to dodge into this door after picking up the bolt cutters, and the reason for that is it skips a short cutscene where Jill kind of just stands there listening to something on the other side. So you can do that this way, or you can do this way, like in reverse. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. Okay, so with these dogs, you can move at almost the last second to the left and dodge the dog like that, which I recommend. Or you can dodge it manually like that. I recommend running past because it keeps the DA a little bit lower. And there you want to start left and then move right to get past that lady, otherwise she'll aggro. And you want to hug right to dodge that zombie there. So you're going to pick up this pouch, drop off 2 items quickly. Alright, if that was a little bit too hard, then you can run manually and then you can drop off the items with the mouse. Dropping off items with the mouse is much slower than using the keyboard. Pick up these 2 herbs, do a quick turn, and then dodge 3 times to this. So you want to make sure you straighten up for that, otherwise Jill will do the baby dodge and you won't make the distance. Then you want to examine this. You can use the mouse or keyboard to examine. The mouse is faster, but you have to be careful not to overturn the box, otherwise you won't be able to open it up. You want to pause, and what pausing does is you can use a herb straight away when you open the menu, otherwise there will be some lag. So you want to pause here for a couple of seconds. I'm not sure what I did there. You meant to put the lockpick into the 5th slot where I've put it now, and then move a herb down. So that's where the items should be. That spot with that Deimos, I aim where that opening is, and that will get the Deimos to try to dive on you, and it will miss. And then you'll have time to get the breaker there and turn it on. So that is consistent, okay? So you shouldn't miss that. That first breaker is basically free. And then you're going to climb up, get this handgun ammo. Okay, so we're going downstairs now, and there's 3 breakers. This section can be a little bit difficult for people. I mean, it can be really difficult. There's a lot of RNG. You can't prevent losing time here, and sometimes you can't even prevent losing runs, but you should be able to make this section a lot more consistent if you follow the right kind of strategy, right? So important thing is you want to listen carefully. So this is really important. You need to listen, use the information that you gain from listening to decide what you need to do. So that's really important here. So you're going to come around this corner, and in that situation, the bug walks off. That's really good, because that means I can go to this breaker straight away. Unless there was 2 bugs. Sometimes there will be 2 bugs, in which case I will need to shoot the other bug off. But in that case, it was only 1 and he ran off, which is awesome. Now here, you're going to run towards the left bug, and it should almost always dive if you run directly to the left bug, and then you're going to move slightly right and it will miss. And then you're going to take this 3rd breaker, and you should be able to get this breaker. Now, sometimes it's rare, but a Deimos will come like literally out of a hole right next to you and end the run. That is just really bad RNG, right? So there's nothing you can do about that. But usually that does not happen. However, after this breaker, you're usually going to be attacked from the ceiling or ground and have to react pretty quickly. So in this case, I was attacked on the ground. I got a scratch. That's okay. Now here I'm listening and I bait out the attacks. So this is one thing that you can do here is, if something is following behind you, you can bait out an attack. And then if you want to leave a breaker quickly like that, you can back dodge and run off. And that will avoid getting hit there. And then after that, it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you don't get hit on the way out. Here I can hear something behind me, so I'm trying to bait that out. So I bait it out. A back dodge, which we talked about. The left guy dives just like before. So you can see there's there's a way of doing this basically. and then the guy comes at the bottom and you dodge that. And now I'm baiting out an attack again, and I bait it out, so that means I can go to this breaker. If you get into caution here, don't use the herb. Don't go back into fine. Stay in caution. You'll need to stay in caution for the next section, so do not go into fine. That's a little bit weird, but I'll take it. Go over here. So every time a Deimos makes an attack like that, you've got a chance to get to the breaker. So you have to take the most of that opportunity, right? That Deimos missed a scratch as I ran past. So when this happens, that usually will cancel out these two from attacking you, right? So yeah, they're not going to attack because they won't attack when another Deimos has tried to attack too soon before you've gotten to these two guys, right? So when that happens, sometimes the other bug that tried to scratch you will catch up earlier. So you need to be a little bit cautious in this scenario. So yeah, you can see him coming, so I'm like, nope. And that is just bad RNG. That is just straight up bad RNG. There's like this second bug. Now what I did there is I let go of the breaker, and then I pick it up again, and he'll miss that dive, right? So that's a little trick that you can use. Here I'm just baiting out attack. Okay, for some reason I had to bait that out twice. That still worked. Okay, and like I said, staying in caution. Don't use the herb. Okay, so I dodged that, and if you're not feeling confident with the dodge, you can just use the ammo. There, the left guy dives, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and go for this breaker and again attack that at the bottom again and dodge that. You can use the generator if you want. Now here, I hear something to the right, so that means I have to shoot it before I use this. So that's pretty straightforward. Obviously it's a time loss. Then sometimes that happens where a bug comes out of nowhere. The reason why this pattern is a little bit more aggressive is because the DA was at 7. So that's one of the problems with 7 DA is they'll be a lot more aggressive. And the other thing is they'll attack in pairs. That actually makes things a lot more difficult. This is why you want to avoid having this higher DA at the substation. I don't know why I keep getting attacked at the bottom in this tutorial. I don't know why. But if they come from the ceiling, usually you can run past before they scratch you because they'll try and attack you at the breaker and then you can run past and they'll whiff their attack. And then I bait out that attack again. That was actually a really good bait. Like I baited out and I got 3 good dodges. So that's why I like doing that. I can get 3 good dodges if I bait it out. Now we're going to leave. Another phone call, so remember, don't skip the phone call. Use the opportunity to walk towards this door here. Then obviously you can't open it, so you need to wait until the cutscene ends. That's another section you can headbutt through a door. And you want to aim there to get Nemesis to not stagger you. You need to get a specific point there to make sure he doesn't stagger you. There, we're going to use the generator on Nemesis. We're going to keep it simple there. Use the generator and make sure that you stay right, because that lady, as you leave, sometimes she will aggro you. So make sure you're being mindful of that. There's 3 patterns that you get with Nemesis here. He can drop down before you get to the steps, or he can drop down just before Moon Donuts, or he can drop down as you leave Moon Donuts. There is a manip that basically causes him to jump down before Moon Donuts. I tested it out and it did work. I want to say it worked a dozen times in a row. So here, it's going to be random. If he drops down here, I'll show you what you do if he drops down here. But he doesn't drop down here. So now I'm going down the steps, and then I'm going to pause a few times. And I'm going to just sit here and stand here and pause. So I'm just pausing, and for some reason or other, this causes Nemesis to drop down here if he wasn't going to drop down otherwise. Okay, so I had to pause a couple of times. Like I said, I don't know why that works, but I tested it out enough and it was consistent. So all I know is it does work. So you want to shoot the generator and that's it. That's all you need to do there. Okay, so sometimes he will drop down here. In this case, run backwards. So here I'm running backwards. He's going to run at me. And then I want to shoot the generator just as he gets close. There's 2 zombies, so this can be a bit tricky actually. There's some RNG with how these zombies walk. You want to run to the left side, dodge the big zombie, and then move in such a way that you're going around the other zombie behind him. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm moving behind him, and what that does is baits out his attack. So he lunges the other way, and then you can go up the steps. Now I'll show you what happens if you go on the right side. If you do that, he does that. Like, he just instantly turns at you instead, and then you'll have to dodge him. So that's why I don't like doing that side. There is some RNG though, where he falls over. Both zombies can actually fall over, and that can be annoying. The Mark zombie, for example, he can fall over and then instantly turn around. So sometimes you'll need to dodge twice anyway, even though you did the left side. So the left side will work all the time as long as Marks doesn't fall over. So very rarely he's going to fall over and then instantly try and turn around and tackle like he does here. So you just need to be mindful of that and then be ready to dodge. It's a really difficult spot, but there's not a lot of other ways you can get around. This password never changes. It's always FARRASA232.
私はスーパーコップ。朝飯前よ。ルートの設定が完了しました。カルロス、私よ。運行ルートを設定した。いいぞ、ジル、素晴らしい。不当不屈だな。急いで駅に戻ってくれ。出発の準備をしておく。
Now with this parasite head, there's 2 ways. Now the accepted way is to dodge twice towards this door and then he'll miss his attack. So that's the optimal way of doing things. That won't work on fine though. So if you're in fine, that will not work. If you're in fine or you're not confident with that, you want to shoot him a few times to stagger him. You need to shoot him like 4 or 5 times there and then move around this zombie. And shoot this generator when Nemesis is getting close. Wait until he's close, otherwise you won't hit the parasite. Now the positioning of these zombies is random. You can see there the lady was walking down the steps. And here you're doing 2 dodges. Just wait until the zombies put their arms out and make a noise, and then that's when you dodge. Now there's 2 herbs on the left there. If you're not confident with sewers, you can pick up those 2 herbs if you want, or if you're in danger or something. And this is another generator that we're going to shoot. So as you can see, we use the generator a lot in this game. If you press dodge out of this scene, sometimes Jill will dodge. So I'm mashing dodge here. Sometimes you'll get this where she quickly does a dodge. It doesn't save a huge amount of time, but it is worth trying to go for. And we come down here, and this is an aim dodge around the corner and doing 3 dodges. And make sure you pick up that grenade. Okay, so this gives people a lot of problems. So the gamma will open its mouth first, and then that's kind of like a warning. And then the second time it opens its mouth will be when it tries to eat you. You'll actually hear the sound of and that'll give you an idea of when you need to dodge. So what you need to do is listen carefully, and then as you're doing this, run to the right side and push right. And you want to kind of aim right. So you'll see this. And listen to that chomp. You can hear it chomping really aggressively. That's when you need to dodge, right at the start of that. That's going to take a little bit of practice there. And you want to dodge just before this square, and you're dodging twice around this corner. That'll cancel the stagger of this gamma hunter here. And you want to run towards the tail, and around where the base of the tail is. Again, you want to use the audio cue to help you there. And then you dodge that as well. So those dodges, they're not as hard as they look. It mainly comes down to practice. Now the battery should go on the first 2 slots because I had some extra ammo. Because of this tutorial, I was taking a second pack of handgun ammo. I didn't use all of it, so I just swapped in the battery. But normally the battery would go there and you wouldn't have that extra ammo. Okay, I'm dodging twice under the gamma. So again, that's a specific spot. You're going towards the left, and there's like a white patch on the ground, and you kind of dodge in such a way that the first dodge goes before that, and the second dodge will slide under it. If you miss that and you get pushed to the side, you want to do another 2 dodges to make sure he doesn't get you with his tail. But if you slide under him like that, you'll always be able to run safely away. And here you're dodging twice, and you want to run to the left side, and there's kind of like some toilet paper on the ground. You want to dodge when you hit that, and again he's going to make that same sound. So here I make a small mistake. I meant to hold up and left out of this door, only held left, so that's not right. I'm doing an aim dodge to straighten up Jill, and then 2 dodges around the corner. And opening this, that was a little bit bad. Grab this, turn around, and if your movement was good enough, that gamma will not be able to eat you. If you made a mistake, sometimes it will try and eat you. If that happens, dodge twice, and he'll miss his bite. Okay, so again, you'll need to practice this section a little bit to be comfortable with it. What I recommend doing is you can take out that gamma, throw a grenade at it, and then practice this section. You want to practice that a few times because the movement is important so that you can get away. Now you're going down here, and you want to dodge twice when you go downstairs. And it's 1 stair skate and 3 dodges there. You can't really do that stair spin a lot of the time because if you're too far to the left or right, Jill will hug the wall. With this guy, just stay left. Don't get too close to him. Sometimes he will attack you from all the way over there, so be careful of that. Sometimes you will need to dodge. And Marks will always miss his lunge if you run like that. And this is just stair skates. Okay, push that down and dodge 3 times here. You can actually turn left, like pre-tilt Jill at that ladder, and that will help her pick it up a little bit quicker. And this is another aim dodge situation. Dodging twice. Oops. Yeah, you're meant to tilt Jill at that stairs. I didn't tilt her enough, so I didn't pick up the ladder optimally. So you want to make sure you tilt Jill at the ladder to make sure she picks it up. So with this first boss is pretty straightforward. You want to shoot 6 handgun bullets into the tank. So you want to come to the right, and he's going to stagger like that. That's when you throw a grenade. Then you want to shoot a couple of shots into the body, and that'll get him on the ground. You want to pick up that handgun ammo first, and that'll go in the first slot, and then pick up the shotgun shells. And then you want to time that grenade throw just as his foot lands on the ground. And it needs to be at that point, otherwise his health won't go down. Throw that grenade too early, he'll be at 16% health, and you'll need to manually take him out with the handgun bullets. You can still kill him, but you'll have to dodge his running attack. Like, he'll run at you with the flamethrower, so you want to dodge that and then quickly try and shoot him in the heart area to get rid of him. You should practice that so that you don't make that mistake. I try and time it after he says the word stars. So he'll say stars, and then you wait about a second, and then you'll throw it. So I just get used to the timing of him saying stars. You know, all these things are just things that you'll need to practice and get the timing down, basically. Now, the extra handgun bullets in the first slot, that's really important. That's going to enable us to put some items in the first slot in the late game. So it's important that you leave that there. And it's also going to be a little bit of extra ammo for this section here if you need it. It serves 2 purposes. Okay, so you're dodging down here to the Resi 2 area. Going down, run left of this zombie. Make sure you're that far left, otherwise she will get you. Going to meet Kendo. Hello, Kendo. Pick up this key, and that'll be in the 3rd slot. And now you want to pick up this barrel. You definitely want that barrel. You do not want to miss that. And here, as I come out the door, I oversteer so that Jill straightens up towards this gate. That was actually really good. And you're going to be using this key. And you want to make sure that you tilt Jill around, so make sure she's like facing the gate when you use the key. And then I'm holding up and left, and what should happen is I should leave this gate cleanly like that. If you don't tilt Jill properly, she will move to the side and it'll be like a little bit awkward. If you find the 3 dodges hard, you can do 2 or 1. It really just comes down to what you're comfortable with. Now with this guy here, essentially you want to pretend that he's not even there and quick turn this. Yeah, like I quick turn there, and it's almost like he's not even there. I just pretend he's not even there, and you'll get past. If you're a little bit uncomfortable with that, you can shoot him, just stand quite far away and shoot him 4 times, and he'll stagger. You're going in here, and this is a little bit weird. You want to wait until the head winds up, and then dodge it. So you'll hear that sound of the head winding up, and just near the end of the rug, that's when you'll dodge. And sometimes he'll do that where he'll wind it up and then he won't even try to attack you. And then sometimes he'll attack you as you leave. So sometimes you need to do a second dodge to make sure that you're not getting hit on the way out. That's less common. Usually he will go ahead and attack you. Again, if you're not feeling comfortable with that, you can shoot him. One thing I'll want to point out is do not reload all of this handgun ammo. Make sure there's at least one in that first slot. So if you need to use a little bit more ammo, that's okay, but just make sure that you keep at least one bullet in the slot. Alright, rocket Nemi. Come to this corner and then hold left. So turn around exactly like that. Run to that barrel and then around this corner. And make sure you're careful of that guy without arms. And then hold up and left and run. If you do it like that, Nemesis will not attack you. And then triple dodge here. Those rockets will not hit you. I'm 99% confident that you will not get hit there if you follow that line. And this runs straight towards that tire there. And the first two rockets will miss. And then you want to move to the right to avoid the third rocket and then dodge. I'm not 100% confident that will always work. I have been hit by the rocket once, but not recently. Not since I started doing 2 manips on Nemesis, so I don't know if it is related to those manips. Now, you're going to dodge twice here, so you want to make sure you run down here fairly quickly so the head doesn't, you know, make you a sandwich. And wait until the ear crosses the lamp, and then you can run past, and you can kind of grind into the head a little bit. And you want to be careful, obviously, don't get too ambitious, but you can run slightly early and grind into the head a little bit. If this is your first run, don't be too ambitious. Make sure you're following Carlos. Don't get too far away from him, otherwise you'll lose time. So make sure you're following him. And here I'm wasting off all but 1 ammo. So I want to have 1 ammo in that first slot. That is what I'm doing here.